Hi, I am Coach Landry, and the topic is the only proven way to improve a relationship. The vital step I think that every couple needs to take to ward off relationship boredom. Now, you might say, well, hold on, I thought there are other ways to improve relationships, and there are. This is a scientific way for couples who are healthy and everything's going fine, but they find themselves in kind of like that. Things always seem the same and they kind of need a spark. So, this is the only proven way, both studied scientifically, intimacy, all these kind of things, that it's been proven to actually work. Like I said, this isn't for if you're resolving a problem. These are just for good couples that everything's going fine and they want to kick in a romantic spark. So healthy relationships benefit our psychological and physical well-being. They just do. So why not make yours as strong and as vibrant as possible? Good relationships have a rhythm. A diet act to them almost. It's interplay and both members of the couple contribute and enjoy. If you're lucky enough to have a solid romantic relationship, you probably know a thing or two about communication, compromise, and support, because that's what healthy couples have. And if you're motivated to maintain that healthy relationship, or you want to move, toward such a partnership, it can help to know real ways to create positive changes in a relationship's well-being. Okay, so what we're doing here, we're taking a good relationship and we're making it way better. But here's the rub. In research, only experimental studies and replication can reveal factors that actually improve relationships. Other study designs, there's different ones. There's some called, this might be a word no one's heard, but quasi-experimental, longitudinal. I mean, there's all these kind of psychological words they use, but to add to the list of potential cause factors. But the conclusion drawn from, these should be at the most tentative. In fact, much of the current relationship research uses correlation designs, which simply look at how different factors co-vary at any one time point. Rarely do we have a window into our behaviors, attitudes, and dynamics that we know causes changes into relationships. This is why one experimental finding, which has stood the test of time, in my opinion, stands out as the clear way to make a real difference in relationships. In other words, researchers have identified a causal mechanism that actually improves relationships' well-being. So if you want to improve your relationship, get your partner to join in doing something new and interesting. And it can be something even really simple, something really exciting, or something in the middle. It's just the point that you want to do something new and interesting. This might seem like common sense, but hindsight is 20/20. Researchers in the study, not knowing whether data would support this idea or not, once they did it, maybe it's enough for a couple to simply spend time together. But novelty is key here, right? And novelty is where many couples fall short. Think about it. How often do you and your partner actually share new, exciting experiences? Habits, routines often take over once a couple settles into a rhythm. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If that's where your comfort level is, that's awesome. Like I said, this is only if you need to add a layer of spark to your relationship, a healthy one, that is. Otherwise, if what you're doing is working, it's working. But if you're just like, I want to do something. Let's go paint, and let's just do something that just kind of, we're still spending time together. It still can be a routine, but it can be a new routine. Okay. So we easily get stuck in a rut of the same old, right? Research suggests that mundane routines don't help people evaluate relationship. But if you're not trying to evaluate it, it's not that big of a deal. But to make your relationship better, you need to do something new together. So shared participation in exciting, like I said, novel activities was shown through 3 experimental, I believe 2 of them were correlational studies to improve relationship satisfaction, but increase communication positivity, and they raise overall relationship quality. A startling implication from the study is how much a relationship's well-being is tied to its situation. So how you navigate an arousing or boring events in your relationship has influence on the connection you feel with your partner and relationship overall and health. So if you're doing something where other people might go, oh my God, that's so boring, why do you do that? But you two are looking at each other, smiling, having a good time, and literally time flies when you're doing it. It's one of those activities that bond you and other people can't understand it. That's why you're compatible with that person. So keep the chemistry alive by introducing new ways to engage in your partner. That doesn't mean you need to do it every week, but maybe once a year, just find, hey, we've never done this. How about this year we do this once a month? and just, see how it goes. So like I said, keep chemistry alive by introducing new ways to engage with your partner. Explore the city together, try a new restaurant, new board game, visit a ballpark. You could go hiking, sign up for cooking classes together, tour a museum, go see a national landmark, go to a comedy club, a bar you've never been to before, or tackle a new home improvement project. Just challenge yourself and your partner to actively seek interesting opportunities that you can share together. And you'll have built a mechanism that supports a thriving relationship. So, take note though. I mean, for this to work, you both need to be interested in what you're doing, right? So if the idea of refurbishing furniture or playing Frisbee isn't interesting, try something else. But engaging in mundane activities, even if they're new, won't have the same effect. But just make sure you both have interests. And what might be mundane to somebody else may not be mundane to you as a couple. So it's just what you both find interesting is what's really important here. Okay. So if you'd like to book a personal session, contact me via the email below. And if you found this information helpful, show your appreciation by clicking the donation link below, and I will talk to you soon.